It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. Comprehensive cutting-edge care giving you every reason to choose Hayes Med. United Rentals. Your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. VTI. Your John Deere dealer. With locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. VTI. Our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Royal Roofing. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. And Eagle. Our community connected. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And a good Monday morning and Happy New Year. Welcome to our first program of 2026. Glad to have you aboard. Hope you had a nice holiday season. A Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Four-Day State certainly off to a good start here in 2026. We'll recap a couple of wins for both the men and women New Year's Day evening, and then on Saturday over Northwest Missouri State and Missouri Western. We'd love to hear from you. You can chime in with a question. Go to FHSUathletics.com. Click on the fans tab. You get the drop-down menu. You'll see Ask the Coach, Tiger Talk. Submit your question. Chance to win a Mix 103.3 T-shirt. But we're certainly glad to have you back with us here for the new year. Need a reminder, you can always sync up the radio broadcast with the MIAA Network video feed. All you have to do is download the TuneIn app to listen to the game if you haven't done so already, either on your tablet or on your smartphone. Download the TuneIn app. Search Mix 103.3. Make that a favorite. Then on game day, pull that up. Listen to the game. If the video's a little bit ahead, pause it right before tip-off. Let the audio catch up, and then you can sync up the radio play-by-play while watching on the MIAA Network. Tiger men and women played New Year's Day, and then again Saturday. Both picked up wins. We bring in now head men's coach Mark Johnson. Couple of nice wins for the Tigers. Beat Northwest Missouri State 67-50, and then a thriller on Saturday over Missouri Western 67-65, hitting a late bucket from Lucas Hammocky to break the tie and get the victory. And you close. Let's go back to 25. You closed out the year out in Denver. Couple of nice wins. Had a 3-game winning streak, and then didn't get a lot of time to prepare. Three practices after everybody got back from Christmas, but nice little run here, closing out 2025 and opening 2026.
Yeah, kind of hit our stride out there in Colorado. You know, didn't have a great first half against Metro. Kind of that road trip. You know, when we're down 8, but then really played really well in the second half. And if we make our free throws, you know, in the last 5 minutes of the game, that's probably a double-figure, double-digit win. And then obviously Regis, who's struggling a little bit, but we played great. We made 17 threes and really closed out the fall semester in a really high note. Came back here and really, like I said, only had 3 days to prepare and had a lot of, I don't want to say pressure, but kind of a must-win situation when we, our first road trip in conference against two really, really good teams. It's not like we played that bad. We were there at the end. We just couldn't close those games out, but you're 0-2. You got to have, and when you got 4 straight on the road after this weekend. So these are games we had to have, and thought we really played well. A much improved Northwest team. I know it may not have looked that way, but our defense really affected them. We made it hard on them. I think they had 13 points with 30 seconds to go in the first half, and kind of messed that last 30 seconds up. But really played well all the way around. I think at one point we had the lead up to 28, and then a really good Missouri Western team, a team that was undefeated in conference, has really played a hard schedule. When they came in at 11-3, that was a legit 11-3 team, and have played a lot of good teams leading up to that game, and did just enough to get the win, I guess.
Yeah, nice wins. And you mentioned Northwest. It's kind of evident what they did a couple nights later up in Kearney. They struggled last year, 6 total wins. They're up to, I think, 9 already, so they're going to have a much improved season. Their coaches had success at the NAIA level. And you leave a game like that, you kind of think, man, Northwest maybe isn't as good as you thought, but then you go back and look at it closer. It's like your team gets a lot of kudos defensively. I mean, they were were locked in from the opening tap and one of their better defensive efforts that entire night.
Yeah, we can. Our guys do a good job of making it hard on the other team. Sometimes the other team gets pretty frustrated, and we did a really good job on number 2, who's a shooter, and Javari really chased him around and made it difficult, made him score in different ways. And both these teams we played were high tempo, want to play fast. Northwest was averaging a lot of points, and then you look at Missouri Western came in. I think they were averaging 96 points in their first 3 conference games, and outside of the first, probably 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, we really made it hard on them too.
Talk about, you mentioned Javari, and he had a nice game at Regis, and he's been scoring well. But defensively, he's not the biggest guy, but he's got a little bit of a length. He's very athletic, and he really disrupted stuff on Saturday. But, boy, defensively, it seems like he's come a really, really long way. Is he playing better defensively than even you thought maybe he could?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and we had to have that. We lost Caleb and, RJ and some guys that could really guard on the perimeter. We're really concerned about, I know we talk about how we're going to replace Caleb offensively. We are probably just as concerned how we're going to replace him defensively, because he was always the guy that went on. If your best player was the point guard, he would guard him. If it was a 2 guard, he would slide over, and we really needed to find someone. And Javari, his credit's made a big jump. He came in here, you play high school, you play 1 year of junior college. The NWAC is kind of not high-level junior college compared to, say, playing in Texas or even Kansas, Florida. So it was a whole new world, and we redshirted him, and he's really bought in, and he's been a real key, not only offensively. Obviously, he's been a double-figure scorer, and we need as much help as we can get on that end, but he's really made a big difference for us defensively. He makes it really hard and frustrates the other team as we go up. This and play Kearney, they got the Hill kids, one of the more talented guards we have in our conference, and he's going to have to go up there tomorrow and make it hard on him too. But yeah, he's made great strides, and his athleticism and length, like I said, we're big except at that 2 guard position, but he makes up for it with being his wingspans, obviously longer than a normal 6-foot guy, and then he's athletic, and he's figuring out, he'll keep playing hard, play through fatigue, and take pride in stopping his guy.
It's interesting. We get to talk to players a lot throughout the season and after games, and you talk about identity, and we've had you always rotate guys in and out, graduation, newcomers, and usually every time we don't even bring it up, but defense and how we played defense, or what we did wrong or what we did well defensively. It's funny how you build a culture, and it's ever since you've been the head coach, it's been play great defense, you play hard, you do the right things, we'll figure out a way to score just enough points. And in today's college basketball, everybody wants to score. It's high flying, built for offense. But how these guys come in and they do buy in, and we don't bring up the word defense, but that's usually the first thing they talk about is how they played well or maybe not as well defensively.
Well, I mean, it's a big thing. The rule changes over the years have allowed us to get more 4-year players, so you have more returners. The older guys kind of come in, and the younger guys kind of feed off them and understand it. And then obviously messaging. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to have, we're messaging about what it's important. And because I think, like I told them after the game, a prime example of that was the Western game. We struggled offensively for quite some time, but we were right there, only down 1 at halftime. And then we felt sorry for ourselves offensively and didn't guard, and we fell down 14. It doesn't matter how well you're playing offensively. If you're playing defense, you're going to win. I mean, I know offense is great and it's fun to watch and all that, but defense wins in every sport. You look at my Dallas Cowboys, you know what I mean? We have the worst defense in the league, and it doesn't matter that they have the best offense in the league. People get confused by that. I've never seen, you look at the Chiefs, some of their last Super Bowls, it was defense, it wasn't offense, and we get confused sometimes. It's nice to be both, but if you're going to favor one, the teams that usually are the best defensive teams are going to have the better year, and that's what we try to preach, and our guys really buy into that. They take pride into it. They like to see the other team get frustrated and struggle, and what happens is with our guys a lot, the other team, people say, they just missed a lot of open shots. Well, they didn't really have that many, but the few times they were open, they can't believe they are open, and you kind of speed them up a little bit, and you get in a hurry, and then we wear them out, you know what I mean? We make them really work on their defensive end, but then we make them them work on the offensive end. And part of the points and the number of points scored is our guys do a really good job. No one comes down for the most part and scores in the first 7-8 seconds. You watch these other games when they're high tempo. You win a game 104-90 like Western did against Kearney. Well, Western's allowed to shoot the ball pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
You come play us, our guys are going to make you take at least 20 seconds before you can even attempt to get a shot off, so that obviously there's not as many possessions. But from a coaching staff, I don't think we can tell our guys, hey, quit playing so hard. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's kind of what we do, and our guys have done a really good job with it.
Well, I think you saw that, especially in the Northwest game, when they did get open shots. The Gare kid is, excuse me, especially, he's a good shooter. And when he got an open look, it just felt like he was rushing to try to get it off because he knew there was going to be some defense coming.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I always say. I mean, some of these times the reason these guys are missing is when they do get open. Like I said, they've worked so hard to get open, and they haven't been open very often that it makes it difficult. We talk about it all the time. You can't let guys, especially good players, guys that are scoring a lot of points, you can't let them get off to a positive start and leave them open, because once they make one or two, their confidence builds. I mean, it's really important to start the game off and not letting their best players get going, make shots, get shots off, frustrate them. So then as the game progresses, when they do get a look, because eventually they are, we're not going to be perfect on every possession, that they're not feeling it, you know what I mean? And we've done a good job with that.
Well, Tigers get a couple of nice wins. We'll talk more about the Missouri Western game. That was a thriller. Came down to the final second, in fact, on Saturday. And then preview, it's been a busy stretch. 4 games in 8 days here since the new year, and they'll play Game 3 of that 4-game stretch tomorrow night up in Kearney at the Health and Sports Center against the Lopers. Tiger Talk brought to you today by BTI, your full-service John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. We'll take a break. More Tiger Talk ahead on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
So I had a gentleman come into Golden Belt Bank, very confused with an estimate of closing costs and fees he received from another bank. And I said I would sit down with him and go over these costs. We also issued some closing costs and fees that he could compare. He ended up choosing Golden Belt Bank as his bank. I would do that for anybody that walked in here, anybody that was confused. I really do want them to get the best deal that they can. We try and do everything possible to make their dream come true. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time.
Here's Mo Conte over the grill, guarded 3, good, and he's fouled, and a chance for a 4-point play. Just the second made 3 of the day for the Tigers, and Kyle Grill will go to the line as he cuts the game to a 9-point deficit. Yeah, big basket Saturday. That 4-point play maybe sparked you guys. You were down 14 with about 14 to go, and it was a long uphill climb to finally win that, but it felt like that 3, and he hit the free throw to make it a 4-point game, got you within single digits. May have just, kind of reinfused the energy in the building and your team and kind of started that comeback on Saturday.
Yeah, for a while there, Dan was having a hard time scoring, and when Dan's having a hard time scoring, we're having a hard time scoring. 25 was a big kid, hard to score around the basket, so we had to take him out. And Dan's mid-range, who's been just really good the whole year, he wasn't hitting that shot, and that was kind of struggling in the second half. He started, hitting that shot a few times, and then the big thing, Kyle really stepped up. Kyle's did a great job this weekend rebounding.
Yeah.
He had 2 really good rebounding nights, and then I think he finished with 17 on Saturday. I don't know how many came in the last probably 12 minutes, which we needed every single one, but he was big. He hit 2 big free throws with like 56 seconds, down 2 to tie the game, which was big for us, but he hit a couple threes. He got fouled on one. He's had 2 unbelievable dunks.
That alley-oop was...
Yeah, he changed hands in midair, and that was pretty impressive, and dunked it with his left hand. And, obviously he had the one at the beginning of the year. So, but Kyle was really big coming down the stretch for us.
Yeah, he had a good game. Dan, almost a double-double, 21 points, 9 rebounds. Kyle was 17, 5 of 5 from the line, and it shook off a tough first half. And he's getting a reputation. So, he's obviously a focal point in scouting reports for teams, but I thought he's done a good job of showing composure, just sticking with it. You mentioned the rebounding, and then it seems like the offense finally finds a way somewhere throughout the game where he gets on track, because obviously you need him to score some points to have success.
Yeah, his offense is a little different than, like Dan and some of our guys, they got to, we have to give them the ball, and it's more of an isolation situation for them. That's not really conducive for Kyle. Kyle was probably better with some other teams we had that it can move the ball better, and then Kyle can attack closeouts and move. We got to get it moving, get the defense moving. Then Kyle's athletic, just a strong. He gets an angle, can attack a closeout, roll up, shoot threes. He's not really an ISO guy, so I feel like at times we're having a hard time getting him enough shots in our offense because Dan is more not. I mean, Dan, without the ball in his hands, doesn't do a great job of finding himself and finding. You have guys that can find offense. So I don't know if you remember Dwayne Brunson. We didn't have to do anything for Dwayne Brunson. He just found a way to get shots off. And you have guys like that kind of, you don't really do anything for them, but they just find it. Dan, you got to specifically run stuff to him, which is great for him, but at times it affects Kyle. We can't get enough movement to affect Kyle because Kyle's not necessarily his strength, just giving him the ball and running, isolation plays and stuff like that. So it's kind of, we really did a good job, and Javari's a little bit like Kyle. So we did a good job in the last 12 minutes of running better offense where Kyle and Javari could find driving opportunities and attack closeouts.
And you kind of touched on it. You mentioned it after the game. We talked about it during the broadcast. Maybe the first time all year where the offensive struggles, because I felt first half you had a lot of good looks. They just weren't dropping, and you take those shots pretty much every game. But maybe for the first time, your team let that offensive struggle affect their defense. I think they scored the first 10 out of the second half locker room. You call a timeout and kind of got everybody focused again, and then you got back to how you played and allowed you to come back. But maybe the first time we've seen that, and I'm sure it's going to happen. I mean, they are human beings, and sometimes that frustration level, but that was maybe the first time this year where the struggle on offense really affect the way you play defense.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we let that affect us. We didn't guard very well. And also they changed their style. We were doing a good job taking away their threes. To his coach's credit, second half is like, let's just pound it. They gave 25 the ball a lot. Number 7 kind of isolated. So it was a combination of we didn't come out and continue to guard as well as we needed to because we were frustrated with our offense. And then they kind of switched what they were doing. But, really that's the first time in a long time we've done that because, we've had some, let's face it.
There's been a lot of opportunity.
We've had some struggles offensively over the last few years, and our guys, I used to always say that, like at Central Missouri when we lost, it's like it's amazing our guys kept playing that hard and all that through all the fight and struggle. So hopefully we learn to get away from, we got away with that because it was a home game. We do this over the next 4 games. You're on the road. It's much more of a challenge to come back when you dig yourself that kind of hole. But our guys did great. It was exciting. I know the crowd was into it, so it was fun to be a part of.
And you played. It was an MIAA TV game in Kansas City, the spot 38 Kansas City. So hopefully had good viewership for that. But it's funny, and we talked with Coach Cars. We'll have her on the last half of the show. You flip-flop. You go first. Women go second. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but the day just felt a little different with your game being the first game of the day.
Well, the big thing is, when everything starts, there's your routine. What time you tip. When you play second, you very rarely you're not going to start on time. It's going to be different. Your players can get out there before the game, get some shots up, kind of what you do in the non-conference and all that. So definitely is a little bit different. I mean, at the end of the day, when the ball goes up and you start playing, it is what it is. But I think just more of a organizational part of it is a little better when you're playing first because everything you can script when everything is going to happen.
That was a fun game. Great win for the Tigers. We'll hear the highlight from Lucas Hammockey's game winner. We'll talk about that, and we'll preview the Lopers and the Hornets. Couple of games this week. Quick turnaround Tuesday, Thursday, both on the road against some longtime rivals coming up for the Tigers. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine and carry out or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. More with Mark Johnson next. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
At BTI, we pride ourselves on providing quality John Deere equipment and customer support. Since 1944, BTI has been serving farmers and commercial operators with mowers, tractors, and compact construction equipment at an affordable price. As a leader in the ag industry, BTI offers complete technology solutions so our farmers can help keep America running. Experience the BTI difference for yourself.
Call on BTI.
Our family in partnership with your family.
Hammocky between the legs. He's guarded by Kabiris. Here we go. Hammocky down the lane to the rim. Banked it up and in with 4.3 to go. Timeout Western. Lucas Hammocky with a tough floater. And he knocked it in to give the Tigers a 67-63 lead with 4.3 seconds left. Hey, look your best on Tiger Game Day with official Nike gear from BSN Sports in the Sideline Store. Go to FHSUathletics.com, click on Shop. You'll find hundreds of products and designs, and they're all customizable. FHSUathletics.com, click on Shop, and open up the Tiger Team Store. Yeah, big shot there from Lucas. We've talked about it over the years. People probably forget, he is Hutch Trinity's all-time leading scorer, not his brother Caleb. He broke his scoring record, and he has a knack to finish. And it was a tough day. Their big guy inside, Pavlovich, made it hard to finish, and I think it maybe got in some guys' heads. But, man, that was a difficult shot, and he found a way to bank it in and give you guys the lead. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, like I said, he kind of shoots those floaters fairly, at a much higher rate than maybe you would think. He has a good touch around the rim. And, yeah, we kind of struggled finishing when we drove in there most of the game. So it was nice to see one go in. It was a hard shot. He was farther away. When you rewatch that, it wasn't like he was right at the rim. I mean, he was pretty far outside the paint when he hit that. And but it was, big. And then, we didn't do a great job in the last four. We let the guy catch it too deep. But then Dan and Kyle did a great job of covering those two guys and making number two, the Henry kid, kind of pick it up, fall down, and then Dan was able to recover out. So we did a good job at the last 3.5 seconds of that play. We did not do it. We let the guy catch it way too deep, but good win for us. And those are you got to have wins like that if you're going to have a good season. I mean, the league's too good. You have too many close games. They're hard games. You got to find a way to win your fair share of the close ones.
Yeah, and King's a good three-point shooter, and he's just a crafty guy. We talk about it. Looks like he looks already like he should be playing noon ball. But when he got it in his hands, you're like, hold your breath. But then Dan got his hand on it to deflect it to make everybody breathe easier and go home happy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Dan's 6'8", and he's long. He kind of probably got a longer wingspan than a 6'8" guy. So it was good he was able to get his hand on that because you never know what would happen.
Well, the Tigers get the 2 wins to get back to 500 in conference play. But as we mentioned, 4 games in 8 days out of the gate here to begin 2026. They'll be in Kearney tomorrow night to take on the Lopers. And Kearney, you look at their record, right around 500. They have struggled a bit, but it feels like they've been in about every conference game and then just for whatever reason, have struggles closing them out. But we saw them last year, very athletic. They like to shoot it. They get up and down. And they're going to be excited for the Tigers. It's going to be a tough challenge, especially having to go up to their place tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, their back's kind of against the wall here with in conference play. They've kind of got off to a tough start, had some tough losses at home. Very athletic, really talented point guard. The Swift kids, what's going to be a hard matchup for us, and this is what they did last year. They have the big kid, Harrell, and last year when we played him at our place, he played a lot. They matched up with us, and then we went to their place later in the week, and they went small ball, and that really gave us problems. Well, they're playing small ball now probably 80% of the time. The Harrell kid's not playing as much, so that's going to be the big challenge. We're a very big team, and that's why we've been able to guard so well is our size. We're not overly athletic, but we're athletic enough combined with our size. Now you get 5 guards out there. Everybody shoots threes. Everybody can drive it. That's going to be the challenge of, again, it's always who wins the matchup. Are we going to overwhelm them with our size, or are we going to have to, play a lineup that matches up with them? And so that'll be an interesting matchup, but they're really capable of putting points on the board. I think if you ask their coach, he's frustrated. You see some of his, obviously now that we're scouting his comments, offensively offensively, they've been really good. They're not losing game. Their conference record isn't because of their offense. Their conference record is because they're struggling defensively. And, we're not a team that's necessarily going to go up there and put up 100 points. Like they just happened to them there. So, we're going to have to do what we do. We're going to have to go out there and earn the victory and play hard and compete, be tough, make it hard on them, and be able to score enough points and limit them.
And then you get done with that game, you're going to get home late. You got to turn around Thursday, head to Emporia. Kind of the same boat for them. They've gotten off to a tough start, but they played Central Missouri really tough. And, again, one of those teams, the record probably doesn't correlate with the talent on the court, probably a little bit better than what that record shows.
Yeah, you look at Emporia's, 3 of their 4 conference games are at Central Missouri, at Washburn, Missouri Western.
Those
That's 3 of the
top. Those are the top 3 teams going into Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, part of Emporia's deal is more of, who they've played already. Their schedule gets a little better for them. The MIAA did us no favors. No. Very disappointed. We should not be playing Tuesday, Thursday. We should be playing Tuesday, Saturday. And Kearney should be playing Tuesday, Thursday because they have the home game tomorrow. But it is what it is. These are important games for us, and we got to no excuses, and we got to just go do it anyway and find a way to win some games this week.
How important is this little stretch here? There's no classes yet. You have a little ways before that cranks back up. It's basketball for these guys. I'd imagine this becomes important. One, you play a lot of games, so you lose some of the practice, but just to hone things because you're kind of in the grind right now.
Yeah, as you go on, you're always trying to add some things or change some things. Like I said, since we've come back from Christmas, we really haven't been able to because we came with this stretch 4 games in 8 days, and we only had 3 days, and we didn't want to wear our team out for 3 days of practice and have a tired team going 4 games in 8 days. Mm-hmm. So we really have been not able to practice probably to the level. After this Thursday, we have a week off and would like, hopefully we can get into the practice mode and get going and fine-tune some things and try to get better. I think at this stage your defense is what it is. We got to continue to work on it every day, but you're kind of what you are. Where I think you can improve the most at times, the kind of that last stretch or this part of the season is getting better offensively, executing at a higher rate, adding some things to benefit your team and benefit some individuals.
All right, sounds good. Well, looking forward to it. Another busy week, a couple of road games. Should be a lot of fun up in Kearney. Coach, as always, appreciate the time. We'll see you up at the Health and Sports Center.
All right, thanks, George.
Mark Johnson, coach of the Tigers. Again, 7:30 tomorrow night, 7:30 again on Thursday night at Emporia State. Tiger Talk brought to you by Golden Belt Bank. It's banking one story at a time. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. We'll take a break. Women's coach Talia Carr's next. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Looking for unique flavor at low prices? Look no further than Taco Shop in Hayes. We have original, made-from-scratch Mexican food, sure to satisfy an empty stomach. Take a bite out of these delicious deals. Grab a beef or cheese enchilada, bite into a beef and bean burrito, or chow down on a Sancho. Save time with our free Taco Shop app. Have delicious fresh taste in just a few taps. Dine in, get it to go, or have it delivered. Taco Shop. You've never had it so good.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. To the taco shop.
There's a backdoor pass from Diaz, stolen away by Michaela Pilling. Here come the Tigers. Levy in midcourt, fires it up the floor. Weeder catches, layup, good! Oh, like the quarterback waiting for the receiver to make the break. It's a layup for Telexa Weeder. That was one of 14 assists from Brooke Levy on Saturday as she continues to have a remarkable senior season. Tiger women knock off Missouri Western after a thrilling win on New Year's night against the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're joined by women's coach Talia Carrs. Tiger Talk brought to you in part today by Royal Roofing, the #1 local roofing company. Roofing, guttering, siding, windows. Call today for a free estimate to give your home the Royal treatment with Royal Roofing. We talked about it with Mark. Tough stretch out of the gate. Your team also had some momentum going into the Christmas break. Won your last 3 games after that one blemish in conference play to Washburn. Let's go back to there first. That was nice way to bounce back and kind of figured your team would. You probably had a little break in maybe some of the competition level that wasn't as good, but I thought your team did a good job of not you see sometimes you play down to your level. Your gals didn't do that and just, I thought, got better even though they were decidedly better going into those games.
Yeah, I think the last 2 games of the year, it was a really good opportunity to get some people playing time that hadn't maybe seen as much, play some different rotations, work on some different offensive things. And I was really proud of the girls for going in and getting a good lead and then allowing other people to play. I didn't think we overlooked them at all and just wanted to get better.
I mean, this team is fun to watch. And when you distribute it so well, we heard the highlight. It started with a steal, and then you got like a mid-court pass to Weeder. And it just seems like your team's having a lot of fun out there. And why wouldn't they? You're having a great season. You're putting up a lot of points. But it just seems like everybody is having fun, and you can just, that energy just feeds off everybody.
Yeah, no, we're doing a good job of moving the ball and getting it to different people, getting to the person that's open and getting the best shot, I think, in the offense. Most of the time, and I think they're having fun. They're a bunch of unselfish girls that just want to see us be successful as a team, but also get really excited when one of their teammates does a good thing.
Lead the country in assists. A lot of that has to do with Brooke, but it's not just her. You have a lot of good passers on the team, but turnovers were a problem early, and I know we've talked about a lot of new faces, and it takes a while for everybody, including Brooke, but it feels like they figured that out, because I think maybe the biggest improvement from the beginning of the year to maybe the last 4, 5, 6 games, the turnover numbers have dropped dramatically. How much of that is just, one, taking better care of it, but two, Brooke now more comfortable with the posts and where she needs to get them the ball, and maybe them more comfortable with her, especially the young players getting used to her style of play.
Yeah, I think that entry passes have gotten a lot better in figuring out timing and with everybody. And then I think in transition, we're just continuing to recognize when we have something and when we probably shouldn't throw it. And so we're really trying to limit those more than we did in the past, where we were throwing it pretty unconsciously, I think, at times. But I think we've done a better job of adjusting that.
Well, 2 nice wins. Certainly wasn't easy on Thursday, New Year's Day, New Year's evening. You took on Northwest, very good Northwest team, totally different Northwest team. A lot of new faces, not many returners from. They had a pretty good run. They made the NCAA, but I really like their team. They play hard. They've got some good shooters, and they had you down 20 in the second quarter. You hadn't been in that position really all year, and obviously had to love the way your team responded to come away and get a double-digit win. That was big.
Yeah, no, I'm really, really proud of them for the way that they kept their heads and didn't get too frustrated, didn't get too down, didn't give up. I thought we did a really good job of just taking one step at a time and trying to get that lead knocked down right before half. We did some good things on offense, but we also got some stops on defense. We adjusted, I think, in that last media how we were going to guard that ball screen especially, and they really answered the call on that and made sure they didn't get the shots they were getting.
Yeah, you go from 20 to 13 at halftime, and that's big. I imagine psychologically you had the momentum, and then obviously it carried over into that third quarter. If you go down 18, 17, not that you couldn't come back, but it's a lot more challenging. Who knows?
Yeah, it is tough. To make a 30-point swing in about a quarter and a half, I think just says a lot about the girls and their willingness to not give up and just kind of grind it out and understand that maybe shots weren't falling, and so we had to figure out how to get stops on the other end. And then when we can get stops, that turns into usually easy points.
What'd you tell the team at halftime? Did you do a lot of – was it a big change in strategy, or was it more just, hey, just keep what you're doing and just keep going at it?
Yeah, we talked about the media again and making sure we knew what we wanted to do on the ball screens depending on who was in it, and just really reiterated that. And then offensively, we looked at a couple different things that I thought that were working, and we moved the ball better in the second half on the offensive end.
Put 4 in double figures in the ball game, and I thought what's interesting, you look at the assists. You finished with 21 out of your 28 baskets or assists, and it wasn't a 14-assist game for Brooke. You had 7 for Brooke. You had 5 for Ellie, 3 for Telexa. We'll talk about her. Olivia had 3, and then you had 3 others. Michaela Pilley, Calliot, and Caitlin Schumann each had 1, which kind of shows this team. everybody kind of did what they had to do to find a way to come back and get that thing done.
Yeah, no, offensively, we were doing really good at like detail things, screening bodies, timing our cuts, and those things make a big difference when you're trying to move the ball. And when we have that many people that can score the ball, it's a 1 second change in whether the shot's wide open and whether they're open on the dive or not. And we were seeing those people really, really well in the second half.
Well, we need to talk about Alexa Weeder, one of the all-time great. Well, you could argue the second best performance ever, at least scoring-wise it was. She was 1 point away from tying Patrice Faulkner's record back in 1993 of 46 points. T got 45, and she had a pretty good look. You maybe could add a whistle for a foul, but that's the way it goes. But you gave her a shot there to set the school record for scoring. But one of those special nights, double-digit, double-double, 10 rebounds to go along with her 45 points. And, man, she got on a roll, and it was fun to watch. I'm sure your team obviously knew she was on a roll. Was it a concerted effort to, hey, feed her the ball, or was it just within the confines of the offense?
Honestly, Gerard, I'm a terrible coach. I had no idea she even had 40. I do not watch who's scoring points that much. Like, obviously, if maybe somebody's hit 4 or 5 threes in a row, I'm aware. But we're just running offense, and we're trying to get the right shot every time. And honestly, like, I remember when she hit 40 because the crowd was so loud. Had no idea. I honestly had no idea, and I also didn't know what the record was, so I'm disappointed in myself for not knowing that because she could have got it. But I also think she's a good enough player that she probably will have another opportunity to do it, I think. But it worked out that way, and I think the girls were aware how many points she had, but it wasn't something that we were intentionally, we got to get her the ball. Not at all. And the fact that she shot it as well as she did, and like I said, it was just within the offense consistently, and that's how quietly she's scoring all the time, I think, too. And it is what it is, and I guess I gotten used to it and didn't realize that she had that many points.
13 of 19 from the floor, 17 of 20 from the free throw line, and also hit a couple of threes. And I mean, she doesn't shoot a lot of threes. She got off to a great start, then had a little of a cold patch, but her ability to step out and shoot the threes, I think, is what makes her so difficult to defend, because we see what she can do at the basket, and she's phenomenal. But when you can step out and shoot the threes, you really put your defender in limbo.
Yeah, and that's why teams one-on-one have a really hard time guarding her, because you don't know if you should put a guard on her, if you should put a post on her. Because if there's a post on her, she's going to go by you from the perimeter or step out and shoot it, and then if there's a guard on her, she's going to score you on you in the low post. So the people that have had some successes making sure there's at least 2 people on her all the time.
I thought it was interesting. Dustin chatted with her after the game for our post-game show and asked her about scoring, and do you know where you're at? And she had to say, like, no, I know I'm scoring a lot. I mean, because it's going in the basket, but I'm more worried about go down there, get a stop, get a rebound. And I thought that is really telling of her game and her maturity and how she's evolved now in her junior year. That, yeah, the points are great, but those other things win you basketball games. That's one of the first things she mentioned to him.
Yeah, no, she's really locked on making sure we get a win, and she knows that obviously it helps when she can score. And so she's obviously trying to get the best shot that she can get and do what she can for her teammates. But I really think she could care less about how many points she's scoring as long as we get the W in that column.
Well, Ellie Stearns had a couple of threes, and she's obviously shooting the ball at a better rate this year than she has throughout her career, which has been important. Always does the little stuff, the things that don't show up in the stat sheet. But she had 2 big threes, and I think we may hear one of our highlights in a little bit. And one of them tied the game during that third quarter to get you back in, and eventually took the lead. But she's had a knack this year for hitting big threes when you need them, and that certainly was the case on Thursday.
Yeah, it's been fun this year just to see her confidence and know that she knows that she's got to go out there and she's got to give us everything she's got, and she's got to know what the scouting report is, and she's got to guard the right way, because she makes those difference in the games, whether it's a gap on a drive or whether it's seeing the ball on the backside and stealing it on a skip pass. She does those little things really well, and then when she's knocking down shots, it's a lot of fun to watch her step in there and just know she's gonna knock it down.
Well, nice win for your team, and they had to come back and play Western. We'll talk about this after the break, but that was a big one, especially with already the one conference loss. You start looking at the league standings. I think you said it well before the game. You were 6th in the nation, but yet 7th in the MIAA going into that one. That kind of summed it all up.
No, it really really does. And I think we were at the top of the tiebreaker, so I don't know if we might have been like 8th or 9th. It was just alphabetical order at that point. And so, nice to get some wins. Went and looked at the standings this morning. Now we're second. Yeah. And so that's just how tight it is right now. And everybody's kind of playing a tough schedule. And everybody's got a loss now except for Pitt. And obviously we beat them even though it was non-conference. And so it's going to be a wild conference.
Yeah, by the way, that Pitt game, when the Tigers play them in conference down in Pittsburgh, that will be the MIAA TV game of the week in Kansas City, so that should be a fun one. Tigers get the win over Northwest. Came back and won Saturday. Wasn't easy at times, but a big second half. We'll take a look at the Missouri Western game, and then we'll preview a couple of toughies this week on the road in Kearney tomorrow, and then Emporia State on Thursday. Tiger Talk brought to you by United Rentals of Hayes, your partner for equipment rentals, sales, and service. Whether it's big or small, find it all at United Rentals in Hayes. We'll take a time out. More Tiger Talk straight ahead. This is the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle. Fort Hays a little momentum right now. Here's Brooke Levy, open for three. Good! Brooke hits a three in transition. Just her second basket. Timeout Northwest as the Tigers have cut a 20-point deficit down to 13 with 3:17 to go in the second. Yeah, that was a big stretch in the second quarter after Fort Hays State fell behind by 20 against Northwest to come back and get it within striking range and then have a big second half to go on and win that contest. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, brought to you in part today by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, offering the most comprehensive and advanced orthopedic care in Western Kansas. Why travel hours when the best in the region is right here at Hayes Med? Tigers played Missouri Western on Saturday. And I know we talked before the game. You never mentioned to your team that they had lost 4 straight home games to Missouri Western. I'm sure the fans knew. Some of your players knew because they were a part of those games. But you got it done. You ended that streak, and that was fun. Yeah, no, it was a game that the returners definitely and us as a staff really wanted to get that win and get that monkey off our back. And I think the fans appreciated us seeing us beat the Griffins at home finally. Eventually got there. Well, you did it with a 28-point first quarter, high flying up and down game, and then that second quarter you scored 8, and it was bad basketball. But I think probably the good part is you didn't let them get away from you. You made them play some bad basketball. You got some stops, and despite probably the worst quarter of the season, you still had a halftime lead, which says a lot. Yeah, no, yeah. Sometimes it's just a grind, and when they're doing something different on defense, it's hard to figure out what's going to work, and we weren't making the right pass necessarily, and we weren't getting a lot of movement on the offensive end from different people, and so, yeah, it was just a battle, but we got through it and survived. Felt like you, Garrell, for the first time maybe settled for threes, and not that they were bad shots if you look at the shot chart, but in context, just no one moving and then chuck it up at the end of the possession. You got some of those same shots in the second half, but it was in the confines of moving the ball in the offense, and you saw the difference. Right. They went in after halftime. Yeah, no, definitely. No, I think, we talked about it before we played them, was that they've shot almost 100 threes more than us, and they have for the last couple years, but we consistently outshoot them from the three-point line when we play them, and understanding, like, that was his goal. His goal was to get us to shoot outside shots, and in the second quarter they didn't fall because we weren't getting good looks at the three-point line, and I thought we talked about it at half and understood what we needed to get done, and then I thought we stepped in and knocked them down when we had them in the second. It's a new coach, a lot of new players. They got one returner from last year, and the Kelderman girl who transferred from Northwest on their team this year, but outside of that, everybody's new faces, but yet they're it's funny how it's kind of what they've been playing the last 4, 5, 6 years. How difficult is that to defend? Because seems very freelance and just, everybody can shoot the three. I would imagine defensively it's unlike a lot of other teams you have to play.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of one-on-one ball and people trying to figure out how to guard everybody. And I thought tendency-wise we guarded them pretty well, but they can all kind of score it, and they all have multiple ways of scoring it, and so they're tough to guard. And, 35 for them is a hard matchup, kind of like T is for us. It's hard to figure out who should guard her, and because she does a good job off the dribble, and she can also step out and knock down a three.
Yeah, she had 16 rebounds. She's a force on the boards, but you find a way to get it done. And then obviously, big second half. You score 31, but you hold them to 13. The defense was really, really good, and then those shots started to fall, and you got on a roll once again.
Yeah, no, we did. It was nice to see the ball go back in the hoop that second half, but we did. We moved the ball better. We got more motion away from the ball and just got better looks at the hoop, made the right pass, and took better shots.
Another big game for Telexa, another double-double, 29 points, and she had 45 on Thursday, and that was great, but I thought her 29 Saturday was impressive because they were going to let her beat them. It was a double, it was a triple team. They were physical with her, and she just kept her course. And then you look up at the end of the day, and there she is with 29 points.
Yeah, no, she did a great job of making them have to guard her off the dribble, especially, and drew a bunch of fouls. But she also did a great job of seeing the backside and making the right pass. And we got a bunch of easy shots just by her being able to get it out of the double team and recognizing when somebody else was open.
And 14 rebounds, tied a career high. And I think those are some of the things that maybe get overlooked. She's coming off her career high in scoring, and then the next game she goes out and ties her career high in rebounding.
Yeah, no, she just wants to win. She's a competitor. She's gonna do everything she can to help our team, and whether it's going in and getting rebound or getting hit by 2 or 3 people on the way up, she's gonna figure it out and work at it and give it everything she has.
Another big game for Brooke. 14 assists. She had 8 points, 6 boards, 14 assists, 5 steals in almost 37 minutes. Didn't shoot it a lot. Shot it at a pretty good rate, 4 of 6, but she did all those other things outside of scoring that help you win games. That was one of her better games, I thought. Maybe a few too many turnovers. Not all her fault, probably,
right.
But just a really good game.
Yeah, no, she got the ball up the floor really fast and did a great job of just of being a competitor. And I think that's been another thing that she's added a little bit more this year. When she's mad, she's going to go make something happen, and it's usually really, really impressive. And so I've really enjoyed that, just seeing her compete and go up against somebody or go score it when she needs to or whatever. She's always kind of making the right play and getting us in the right offense and making sure the ball's getting where it needs to go.
Another game, you got to get everybody in, and hey, for some of you've got a couple, 2 or 3. They play a lot of minutes. Anytime you can get them maybe an extra 2 minutes in a game, it's going to pay dividends in February as the grind continues, and that was nice to be able to do that again.
Yeah, it definitely was. Especially these 4 games in 8 days. Was trying to be aware of it as much as I could, but also you gotta win. So you gotta do what you gotta do, but also trying to be smart about it when we have the opportunity to.
And I thought Olivia, she had 14 points in the contest, only played 16 minutes. She got in early foul trouble. I thought she did a good job. You had to sit long stretches because of the foul trouble, but then when she came in, avoid maybe picking up that third and then picking up that fourth right away and still be productive and play aggressively, play good defense, found a way to score despite having to deal with foul trouble. Really the first time in her collegiate career she's had to do that.
Yeah, no, the first half, the whistle did not like her.
No, it did not.
At halftime, T thought she had 2 fouls, and I said, no, Liv actually got one of yours, I think. And so I thought she did a great job of bouncing back in the second half and just did a great job of doing all those little things, guarding really well and guarding without fouling. And then obviously on the offensive end to score 14 in 16 minutes is impressive.
Well, Tigers get the job done 87-56. I think it may be the largest margin of victory at home anyway over the Griffins. And as we mentioned, ended a 4-game home court losing streak to Missouri Western. But no time to rest, no time to relax and enjoy it. Tigers back on the road 2 this week. Tomorrow in Kearney to take on the Lopers, and then at Emporia State on Thursday. We'll take our final break. We'll preview those 2 games when we return on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Tired of equipment that's seen better days? Or maybe you have a project that requires a bigger machine than you own. This is Blake from United Rentals in Hayes, and we have you covered. Whether you're a contractor, a farmer, or working on your own project, we've got the machinery you need. Big or small, and everything in between, you can rent it for a day, a week, or a month. And if you're looking to own, we have a huge inventory of reliable used equipment for sale. Plus, we can service and repair the equipment you already own. Stop by United Rentals on South Vine in Hayes. We're your one-stop shop for rentals, used equipment sales, and repairs.
Tigers down 3 once again. Here's a runner from Levy, no good. Outlet to Stearns, top of the key, 3. Good, and we're tied. Ellie Stearns is in 2 threes in the quarter to tie it up at 50. Yeah, that was some of the comeback on Thursday over Missouri Western, over Northwest Missouri State. Tigers get the 2 wins, and now back on the road. They'll be in Kearney tomorrow and in Emporia on Thursday night. Both 5:30 tips, big rivalry games, and it's Kearney. It's going to be a tough battle. I think the 1 and 2 assist players in the conference, with Ashoff and obviously Brooke leading the nation in assists, but a good team. They're going to play hard. Obviously, they kind of enjoyed the game last year at their place. We had to play back-to-back, and they got you. But a team that's starting to figure it out. They had some tough losses early on. The record isn't great, but it looks like they're playing some pretty good basketball right now.
Yeah, no, they are. They're out in transition as well as we are most of the time. We're shooting a lot more layups in transition, but their point guard does a great job of getting the ball up the floor really fast, attacking the basket, and then she makes the right pass to get somebody a really easy shot in one pass. So really similar style of play when it comes to that. And then defensively, they're just tough. They're short and as far as minutes that people are playing. They're not playing a lot of kids, but the kids they're playing are tough, and they're good on the ball, and they're good off the ball, and they just play really, really good team defense.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing with them over the years. They maybe, I'm not saying giving you guys fits, maybe a little bit too dramatic, but they have given you some trouble just the way they seem like they mix it up a lot, give you a lot of different looks, a lot of things to prepare for.
Yeah, and they have bigger guards too, and so they can kind of switch some things and put different people on different people. So they do a really good job on that end of the floor, and then they execute really well on the other end. They're in their spot. They're making the right pass. They're screening bodies. They're really hard to guard too.
And then you come back, get done with that one. You got to go to Emporia on Thursday. New coach, new system, and maybe it's taken them a while, but looks like they're starting to, as you'd expect, getting now, past Christmas, getting some things figured out.
Yeah, they have two of their best players back, and she added a couple of new players, really good transfer, and some guards that can really make something happen, and then they like the full court press. So coming off of 4 games in 8 days and seeing a full court press on the last day is we're got to be ready to go, and we got to be ready to take care of the ball, especially on the offensive end, and get the right shot, and then defensively guard their shooters and guard a scorer in the league that's scoring a lot of points right now.
Mental focus, mental toughness probably really big as you go through this stretch and these last 2 games on the road to get you through it all.
Yep, nope, got to be able to be tough and be willing to compete and grind, and thankfully I really like my team and their ability to do those things.
All right, should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Kearney tomorrow at 5:30, then Emporia on Thursday. Coaches, always appreciate the time, and we'll see you up at the Health and Sports Center tomorrow night.
Thanks, Jordan.
That's Talia Cars, coach of the Fort Hays State women again. 5:30, 7:30 tomorrow up in Kearney, Health and Sports Center. We're on the air at 5:05 with the Auto World pregame. And then Thursday, same scenario, 5:30, 7:30 at White Auditorium in Emporia. Tigers and Hornets. We're on the air at 5:05. That'll wrap it up for today. We'll talk to you again next Monday on Tiger Talk. Thanks for listening here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PWC from Eagle.